Good morning, everybody. I'm keeping you guys watching the same direction I'm watching in case those little yellow-eyed shitters show back up. So there's no doubt that I'm doing this. Anyways, today's plan is, first of all, feed our dudes and dudettes, mostly dudettes down there, and check them and make sure they're all doing good since they've all been moved around. We're going to be, so I'm going to turn around and show you the tractor. We're going to be taking that, and we'll test the forks out on taking that thing out. And then we're going to run down to grab, just a second here. And then we'll be grabbing the bucket sitting there. Yes. And then grabbing a flake of hay over here for the rams. And we'll take the tractor and the spears and the buckets around and start our excavation and grading work over there. Not excavation, grading work. So we can move the trailer and move all our stuff for that tin building over there. I'm not looking at anybody now, but let's take a look and see how these guys overnighted here and make sure everybody's not hurt or dead. Sheep farming, it's pretty much making sure your animals are Felicia's. Hey, Joy. Who's behind you, Joy? Okay, where's Mr. Fuzzy? He's the one I worry about because he's a little, oh, he's right there. He's right behind, he's that little one right there, Mr. Fuzzy. He's a little bit wormy, so we have to get them, yeah, he needs to get wormed is what he needs, so we're gonna have to worm them now that we have a lot less, which means setting up that to run these bigger sheep through. But there's no point in worming these guys if you keep feeding them on the ground, because as they poop and slough out the worms, if you're feeding them on the ground, they're retaking up the worms they've expelled, and you're fighting a losing battle. Pretty much like, well, I know there's a word, there's an analogy, but I can't remember it. So what we want to do is get our fence line feeders done in the next week or two. For that, will give us a clean area to feed them on, and then you worm them and you feed them in a clean area so they're not eating and uptaking those worms again, and you win, I guess. And they'll be pooping out the backside, so I can clean that out, and it keeps them clean, it keeps them healthy. So yes, we'll feed these dudettes and dudes. Hey, I don't forget about you, Mr. Freeze and Scorpion. They're dudes. And Toes Boy is also a dude. Yeah, these little guys were not too happy yesterday, especially Moxie right there. I think she was really bonded out to Sarah. Yes, you, Moxie. So unfortunately, with us taking Sarah, she was a little sad yesterday. But she looks like she might have found somebody new today. Hey, Mox? Where's she going? Hey, Moxie. Gotta have a pizzle. Okie dokie. So, without further ado, I'm gonna get these guys fed. You don't need to see that. It's not gonna be throw hay in the alley, throw hay over here. Yeah, we got the farrier coming this morning. So that's why I'm gonna be over there moving stuff around. So hopefully he comes by and goes over there. And I got to move water for the horses because I know Carrie mentioned that last night too. So basically we need the tractor over at the farthest point away. So well, I guess not really at the farthest point away. So there's one fence line right there, and that's our north-south fence line on the west side. And then we've got another fence line over there. That's our north-south fence line on the east side of the property. So we're going to be at the front of the property, but at the east side, not at the west side. So that's what we're up to. Grading that stuff out and getting everything ready for moving and unloading tin tomorrow. And oh, Sweet Pea was pushing a little dude there. Do that. But I'm gonna get to work on this and get this done, and then oh wait, what else was I gonna say? Moving dirt, water's over there. Sorry, I'm just trying to think what I'm doing. And then come about 3:30 or 4. I got, my dad was out hunting last night and he brought a bunch of grouse carcass that, you know, when you're cleaning the animals out. So I got gizzards and guts and I'm going to go put it out in the ram's field, in just sort of out from where Stanley was killed there. Go back and watch that video. Maybe I can link it up here somewhere. And then I'm going to bait that coyote because it seems right around 4 and 5 o'clock is about when the other ram was done. And then 20 after 4 is when we had that video, if you're watching this one, where that coyote came running after the ram. So I think that's a good time. I'm going to set up on the hillside and I'm going to bait that little shitter out and see if I can't give him an extra hole. Hi, Joy. Everybody's run down. Oh, there goes Timothy. Hey, you'd much rather have loves, eh? Good girl. Oh, nice sweetheart. Okay, we're gonna go check. Here's what they say here. Make sure nobody's hiding in a precarious spot around here. Negative. Looks like we got them all. Nobody's hiding or sick or down or dead. So now the biggest concern is for us that we've downsized these sheep is if we lose one, that's like $1,000 gone, if not more, say 15, because we have to replace the ewe, and then that's at least 2 lambs. We're going to count every ewe. We count every single one as 2 lambs because there's a potential for 2 lambs. So that's like $500 a lamb, and then there's $500 to go and buy a replacement ewe. So you're about $1,500 if one of these guys gets sick and drops dead. So that's basically what we're out. So we have to make sure we keep these guys alive. So what I'm going to do here is just spend a minute, walk through, take a really good look at who's all here, and make sure there's nothing funny going on that they're trying to hide. So with these guys being prey animals, which is evident by the amount of coyotes that go after them, well, pretty much everything tries to eat these guys because they're the littlest grazers out there. They do their best to hide any sickness, injury, illness, and just with us getting to know our sheep really well and spending a lot of time with them, you'll be able to tell that slight bit of change in their behavior, walk, gait, mentality, or just how they're interacting. So that scrappiness right there, they're perfectly fine, those two. But that's what we have to watch, and that's why you have to know your animals. A lot of people might discover that don't spend a lot of time, or when we even had the whole bunch of sheep, it was really hard to catch one animal because they could sort of blend in really well. So now we're able to focus more, and we should be able to be on any injuries. But we've always been able to pull them out of that, but now it costs less the earlier you catch any sort of ailment on these guys. The longer you wait, the harder it is to get them out and healthy, and the more money it basically costs. So you just got to get to know them. Let's go take a look and see. So we're just watching for any sort of, if they're as they're chewing, if they're sort of having a bit of a hitch or something, or if they're just doing the motions of chewing and eating but not actually eating, because they'll try and look like they're eating if they're not hungry and try and hide the fact that they're not feeling well. They'll pretend to eat. So we're looking for that. Because they're grazers, which means they move, we'll be looking at them to sort of just not be content with one pile. They should want to wander like she is and go find a better spot, because that's just their ingrained behavior, is to want to move to eat. We're gonna, so this little dude here, he's got a bit of a, getting a little bit of swelling under his chin. So he's got wormies, just a little bit, like I can just see a touch right there. So he's got worms. That's probably why he weighs so light, but he doesn't have any diarrhea butts yet. So we got to catch him and worm him. And we'll just do him now, even though he's eating on the ground, just because it's better to get ahead of these things. Yes, we're not set up to get him off of this, and he might slough and infect the rest of them, but you just can't wait. You have to do him now, so we'll do him tonight here. What else are we looking for? Any movement, slow, unusual movement, listfulness in their eyes and their ears, So their ears are naturally sort of droopy, but you'll be looking for them to really be drooped out, and they're scrappy. So that's not something you're looking for, but as long as they're fighty like that, well, they're definitely feeling good. So, and then just anything, if you know your animals, you'll look at them and you'll just tell. See, like, she's got droopy ears, but that's Sweet Pea, right? So she always has droopy ears. Hey, sweetheart. They should be, even though we're their shepherd and we are always in here and they know us, they still should be eyeballing you the whole time. They're always going to be mindful of anything coming up and around them, because again, they have to be ready to run at a moment's notice because they are prey. See, they just keep staring. That's a good thing. If they're hungry or they're starved or they're sick, they will not do that. They'll basically just, they'll barely turn their eyes to look at you. So these guys are all looking pretty good. I'm really looking forward to her having babies. She had triplets at the beginning of our iodine problem, and not a single one survived, but they were huge lambs. I'm looking forward to that. Hey, Moxie. That's Moxie. She's not, I can tell she's a little bit meh, but it has nothing to do with physical illness. It's just, I think she really bonded out to Sarah, who we took yesterday, the blind sheep. So she's kind of a little bit meh. And then we got to keep in mind that all the little lambs from the Yardigans actually moved into this pen, so they're gonna be a little bit out of place right now. But look at how she's bonding in there really good. They'll figure it out really quick. Oh, and then the obvious things would be like bleeding, limping, bloating, if they keep lifting their tail but nothing's coming out, pretty sure sign that they're going to be bloating. And that's what we like about the long tail. Oh, there's the long tail right there. There's a long tail to actually give you a really good flag. So these little short stubbies, when they stick up, you just got like that sticking up. But these long tails, when they stick up, you got that. So if they keep trying to poop, but they're not pooping, pretty obvious sign that there might be something happening for bloat wise. Other thing is if they keep walking in circles and lying down, they're going to bloat. Get on that as soon as you see it, hit them up fast. The quicker you hit on bloat, the better you're going to do. Mr. Sampler there, when we had them out here the other day, he started to bloat really early, but we caught it fast. So everyone's looking pretty solid. That little dude, for having a bit of worm load on him, he's doing really good. But like I said, when Carrie gets home, we'll crank out on him. Any change in feces, like they should be pellets. If they have the squirts, then they've either gotten into rich food or they got worms really bad. But I think we're looking pretty good. I'm gonna go look at something. I don't know if I was gonna go look at something. The brain is kind of switching off here. It's just kind of nice to hang out with them, right, Felicia? That's not Felicia. That's not Felicia. Frosty. So, yeah. Chewing at the side like that is also a sign of impending bloat. They'll start nipping at their side. But this is Happy, and she's shedding right now to get her winter coat in. So I know what that is. But the other thing would be if she starts doing it really a lot, well, then we know she's possibly bloating. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Which you can see. Oh, a horse got out? I think a horse got out. I got to go deal with that. Oh, I was going to show Friday. And Rodney's making noise. Friday always looks like she's bloating. That's just the way she is. You can see, like, that's just the way she is. So if she starts to bloat, you really got to know her to know if she's bloating or not. But she just fills up, so. Okay, so that's these guys fed. I'm gonna head over because I got horses calling over that way and I have no clue why. And that's never a good sign. They either got out, got injured, or one's not around anymore and they're freaking out for some reason. So either one got out and left the other ones, or we better go check that out. I don't like the sounds of horses calling because that's the second time he's called this morning. So So my suspect is they might have broken a fence, and I'll have to go deal with that. But we'll find out when we get there. So I'm not going to be moving. Well, I can move that really quick. Yeah, I'll see you guys over. I'm going to move that thing quick, just because once I head over to the other side, I'm over at the other side for a bit here. So you guys can go wait for me to show up with the tractor to move that hay feeder out. Well, that worked slicker than slick. So, whoop, angle iron. Next thing is because we need both the point or the pallet fork spear and the bucket. So we'll move this under this, throw some hay in the bucket for the Rams and Rodney, and I'm gonna feed Rams and Rodney later, but we can throw their hay outside their pen for now. So we'll get this going here. Little bit of work, gotta get used to it. Don't want to break it by jamming it into the ground. So I'm gonna go load up some hay, and I'll catch you guys on the other side. Okay, so we're back over here. Bale pallet forks to smooth this crap out. Watch that video there where we talk about why we're doing this, and then getting this all moved around. And the one thing I did forget but then remembered was Carrie mentioned on that same video putting plywood under here. So without further ado, let's get that set up. I just have to go get some dunnage for the top of that. Hold please. that's that. So that's all stacked there. So tarp goes over. The tires are on top right now because that ridge cap likes to lift and bend. Ask me how we figured that one out. This is all just gutters and fascia trim, so it's really lightweight. Good. Right along the front here is where we're going to stack our tin, and I'll show you how we're going to stack it to make it so we can use our wicked cool new pallet forks. Thanks again, Murray, to be able to lift it so we don't need help next time. And right now what I'm going to do is start doing this grading and excavating and dirt moving stuff. But I'm going to take the bigger rocks out of this right now, set them off to the side, because we're getting out of sheep and we're getting into rock farming, so some of these rocks are perfect to make itty bitty baby rocks. So us doing this work and regrading this is a waste of my time that we're not supposed to be responsible for. It's supposed to be the users of the easement are supposed to grade this shit and reseed all this. So if they don't grade it, then we have to grade it and we can bill them. But what it does is just waste my freaking time sitting here doing it, right? And puts wear and tear on that. So not as good as when I had the dozer up here. It'll never be that nice and smooth, but hey, at least we can easily bring our trailer and our equipment in here. I should have probably done this before I started moving stuff around, but hey, at least it's better. You can't let that stuff like this big pile here. Another year we would have had at least a 2 or 3 foot pile, and I would never have been able to get into my own property. So we're going to also grab a hold of this lumber here, well, this part of this fence that was here that got knocked down. Because they knocked the fence so far, and the fence should be right there. All this was a fence. You can see the dirt pile all here that would have to be graded out too. I'll do that now too, I guess, after I'm done this. And get all this this is sort of our yard area done. Again, it's never going to be as smooth as when I had the dozer in here, but I think that's it. That's finished there. So now we can easily bring the trailer in here. This is going to be the first ones down, second ones down, and then there's a stack underneath. As you can see, we have 48 sheets of this tin, and the total weight is 3,398 pounds. The tractor and the skid steer, I only want to lift about 1,000. So I'm thinking of breaking this down into, we'll stack 16 of these 4 times, and we'll just put dunnage between, and then that means is that weight should be enough. I did have the weight on this earlier. I think it was like 800 pounds maybe. I can't remember. I think it's 800 or 900 pounds, but then the tractor can lift it, because right now we don't have equipment that can lift this, so we have to hand unload it. So what we'll do is, I think this is 16, I think this is 48, and I think that's 48 too. So these will have, instead of 1 stack of 48, we'll have 4 stacks of 16, 4 stacks of 16, and then you can see the other one there. I can't remember what that is, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. So I gotta grab this. I'm gonna take this off, grab that, put this all together, get it out of here. We'll move these on top of the tin. When that's all stacked, we'll put those two pallets on the top, and this whole thing can be tarped real nice. And then the pool noodles we'll use on, say, like any edges that stick out, so we don't cut them up or cut the tarp up. But that looks so much better than it did look. We got all the holes filled in. The downside is every time they grade this or snow plow this, they cut this surface low, and because this is not used, like not graded, this keeps getting lower and lower. And I did have this all draining out that way and draining out this way when I had the dozer here, but because nobody ever does anything besides take material off this travel surface, all my drainage that I did doesn't work for schnot. So anyways, I think that's good enough for the day, unless I get to work on taking pallets down out of the Yardigan's pen. Then maybe you can just hang out while I do that as an outro. So, because those will come down to put up a proper fence there. But I'm gonna call this see you later till tomorrow or the next day, and then there'll probably just be footage of me taking that whole fence down to some outro smooth jazz. till next time. I hope you guys have a good day, and yeah, keep on keeping on. Oh, just come out to start taking that thing down there at the end of the video there, but thank God the smoke is starting to clear. Oh, I couldn't see nothing here, so I do think I'll be able to get that done right today. But just coming home on the tractor, it was socked right in. Oh, disgusting.